Guys, welcome back. It is Ben with KCT here. Of course, wanted to welcome you back to another episode of Magdom, where we talk about all things magazines for your favorite guns. So, what are we looking at today? Well, it's kind of interesting. We have with us here an AC Unity 30 round windowed mag. So, what is it? And why do you want it? Why do you not want it? So, first of all, kind of going through things. We'll kind of break down what this magazine is. We'll take it apart, see what makes it tick. It does have some very interesting stuff in there, and you guys will really, really like that. So if you guys are in the market for a new AR magazine, this may be something that you want, maybe something you don't want. So we have a couple of them here. We have this one here that is nice and fully loaded. And that window, it's very, very subdued. It's very small, but it really, it does what it needs to do, I feel. So let's take a look at that versus like the window on a Gen 3P mag. So, I mean, obviously this one's, loaded and everything, but it's about half the size, half the width. So if that bothers you, then, maybe not for you. If you don't care, as long as you can see the brass or lack of brass, if you're good to go with that, then maybe this is something for you. So let's go ahead and get into this thing and what it is, and we'll take it apart and see a little bit more about it. So let's hit the bench. Okay guys, here at the bench, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the AC Unity 30 round mag. As you can see, nothing but the highest technology here at the ACT studios. So honestly, we're moving on to a new studio here, so this is just kind of, it is what it is. So here's the 30 rounder that is nice and full, and it stacks to the right when it's full. There is quite a bit of compressible space, as you guys can see. So obviously, when it's empty, it's very, very, very Magpul follower. It just looks a lot like it. Which, I mean, it's the standard, guys. It is what should be in pretty much every magazine. And for a company to come out and do something, like I don't care if you reinvent the wheel. I don't really care about that. I'm more concerned with, hey, does this work? You can copy the Magpul follower. You can buy a copy. Do whatever you want to do, but I like having the that follower in there, and it should be in every magazine, period. So, or something like it, guys. I know people already flip out. Oh, my magazine, I have the one follower though. No, just understand what I'm saying here. So, what do we have going on with this? Well, let's start at the top and work our way down. So, where the PMag has 4 of these sort of little alignment tabs that stop it from rocking around too far in the magazine. This one has 8. So they're a little bit smaller. So the Magpul ones are larger, more pronounced. Does it need that? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, again, I look at a PMag and say, okay, this is to me kind of what the apogee of magazine design is. They're so modular. They're so they're like one of the only mags that you can go out there and you can just replace everything. The floor plate, you can put an L plate, Ranger plate, whatever. You're not going to beat a PMag, pretty much. So, what niche does this serve? Well, it's interesting. So when we start at the top, I mean, again, we have the same follower. The feed lips are set slightly back on the AC Unity. You can see they stop right there where the Magpul ones continue. I don't really know if that's a super huge issue. I mean, a lot of other magazines we have laying around here are pretty much the same. So that's different, but that's pretty much all. The follower is slightly different, where the Magpul one goes down the little ramp and it flattens out. The AC Unity continues all the way to the front. So probably just to avoid, patent infringement and Magpul's lawyers and things like that. It does have the, I feel like the Magpul one, there's little tabs on the inside to help guide the follower. And the Unity has those as well. So kind of pronounced. When loading these things, they load so smoothly. Really, really smooth. I mean, it feels like loading a PMag. Almost kind of better. It's just like when you're pushing those rounds in. I mean, it feels good. I like it. So they both have the stripper clip guides there and there for anybody who still uses those things. For God's sake, why? And they are both labeled the 556 by 45 on both sides. They do have a very, very, very similar magazine catch notch. So you can see there's just that little nub that protrudes on both of them. There's that ramp, that helps guide that through. So, I mean, it's almost to the point of being a direct copy on that. So that's pretty crazy. So on the back, we can see the cutout there for the follower, and for the bolt to slide through and pick up those rounds. Pretty much the same. I mean, you're not really getting anything super different. The spine is very much the same. This one is notched, I believe. The back one is notched for the spoon for a stripper clip. So if we go back here, we have the same kind of spine. There's less of a pronounced rib on the Unity. So it's less of like the Gen 3, over insertion stop, but there definitely is an over insertion stop versus what you'd see in a normal magazine. There's good texturing down the spine of the Unity. The Magpul is far more textured. You've got a lot of ribbing. You've got a lot of horizontal stuff. Where this is just really almost kind of an afterthought, but it does feel good in your hand. It doesn't. It's not super grippy like the PMag, but I feel like it does what it needs to do. What's interesting is with the Unity, the window actually goes through the ribs. So the Magpul one, they just cut the space for the window, and then there you go. With the Unity, it actually is underneath these two ribs here. So good, bad, I don't know. The Unity has 3 little holes drilled in the window, where the Magpul has 2 larger ones spaced further apart. The front for the Unity is very, very much more textured like the Magpul. You've got a lot more of aggressive texture. It's a big horizontal bar as opposed to sort of like dots or strips. And then if you look at it here, I mean, you have your ribs in almost the exact same places. Now, I understand that people say, well, it's copy or whatever. After a while, you can only fit so much stuff, and you can only do, so much with the design. If you're going to put ribs in it, you have X amount of space to work with, and it doesn't matter who makes the mag, where it comes from, all that good stuff. So, is it a copy? I don't think so. I think it's very, very close. I think there's a lot of things that are very similar to the point where you might look at it and say, okay, well, what's good on a PMag may be good on this as well. So we get down to the floor plate here. We can see both of them have the same floor plate type, where you pull it backwards after depressing the tab there. We'll get to that in a second, because once we get inside it, it's really interesting. It's pretty crazy. So the one thing that this does have, I think, that the PMag does not have so much, is this is a very flared floor plate, and it feels really, really nice, easy to grab. The AK versions of these are really, really nice too. They have a very, very generous flare at the bottom. They're very, very nice. So it's very, very nice for pulling out of pouches. One thing that's weird about these though is that they have like a rounded bottom, so it's not completely flat. Normally you can take a magazine and put it, flat on its bottom, and then it would stay. And this one doesn't. And I don't know why they didn't do that. Maybe to discourage people from fucking around all day putting these magazines in. I don't know. But yeah, so it's just something that's really, really weird. I kind of wish that they would flatten it out just for the sake of shits and giggles. Now, most of my mags have mag poles on them. These probably will too once I'm done testing them. But, for right now, it's just weird. It's just there doesn't seem like a whole lot of purpose behind why you would round it out just to be weird or different or something. And then you can see too here, the Magpul mag, that's the little tab that it was stuck on when it was in the mold. And then the Unity is up front there. So yeah, that's pretty much the outside there. Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. This is really, really interesting though. So if I can look at this magazine, so if I'm looking right at the manufacture date, these were both made in June of 2020, and so it is October 2020 when I'm recording this. So these must have come right over. I mean, I got some just as soon as they came into the States, as far as I could tell. But that's pretty crazy that 4 months ago these were coming out of a production facility, and they're made in Eastern Europe out of what they call some space age German polymer. I don't, I'm not gonna go there. It is what it is. It feels good. And now the PMAG has sort of like a grainy texture. You can hear that. With this, not so much. A little bit. On the outside though, what's kind of cool is you do have your numbers. To let you know how many rounds you have left in there. So each one of these thin ribs, which is why they go over the window. So there's your 30, your 25, and your 20. So what's really weird though is that because the Magpul has that orange follower, or the orange spring coil that's painted, so that when you see it coming up, you know kind of how many rounds you have. This doesn't really do that. We'll see why here in a second. But this is going to get really, really interesting here, guys. I think that you're going to like this. So overall, I think the feeling is great. Now this is being said where I've not had a chance to shoot these yet. We're currently during the great ammo shortage of 2020, and I just haven't had a chance to get out to the range with these. There's a lot of stuff I need to test, but still waiting for it. Okay, so I push that in, slide that off just like your regular Magpul. So first of all, you'll notice that it has a rather large floor plate, where the Magpul floor plate is kind of that lock plate that just goes right in there and is flat. This has a vertical section, which is really weird. It takes a lot of space. I don't really know why they did it. Again, it's the same size as the PMAG. It's the same size as other magazines, and it holds 30 rounds, and it's not a big deal. It's just really weird that they put that in there, that, everything else is kind of very, small, and then all of a sudden you get to this giant gonzo honking bottom plate. So once we take this out, you guys are going to see something that's really interesting, and this is a make or break, guys. So you're either going to love this or you're going to hate this. You're either going to buy the magazines after this or you won't. So we'll go ahead and pull this all out. Okay, so magazine body, pretty simple. The windows are nice. You can see in there that there's not a lot going on, just a little bit of tracking to kind of guide the follower through. And before you get to the interesting part, just your standard Magpul type follower. However, the rear is not extended like the Magpuls. So it's got the really long front leg, not on the back. So here it is, guys. This. So take a look at this. So it just hangs off there. It just hangs off. And why, I don't know. It's bizarre. So I don't know if you guys are seeing this. It's so weird. I've never seen this on any other magazine before. So you can't get a better look here. There you go. I've never ever seen that on a magazine. So it's a bent piece of plastic that is a part of the follower. Now it's very, very firm. And it doesn't. It's not flimsy or flappy, and it won't be bending. Back and forth when it's in the magazine body, because it's basically it's a spacer between that and the wall. It's not like it's gonna be flapping, but I don't get it. Like, I don't put a knob or something behind this. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's for enhanced function. Maybe it's for, maybe it's just for better reliability or using different length, rounds. If you're using like a heavier round and you've got like a longer bullet, I just don't know. So it's going to be some research on my part to go figure that out. So that's how this works, is that this little doodad here presses up against the back of the mag body. So let's go ahead, push it in there. Ooh, right at the top. Now my concern is that with this tab here, someone's going to put this thing back together and they're going to catch the tab on the bottom of the magazine. I just snap that right off. And I don't know, I don't know what else you would put there. I don't know, I think that it would probably stop feeding effectively if it had that piece missing. But I don't know. Further study is going to be, needed. I'm going to see if I can actually pop a Magpul follower in there at some point. But yeah, I just don't know. So, other than this, when I took this apart, I was like, holy shit, this is wild. This is discouraging to me. This is bullshit. I don't like it. I don't understand why. Again, if you go back to Magpul and you say, okay, these guys are pretty much the gold standard with what's going on, they don't use something like that. So, are they trying to save weight? There's all sorts of stuff you can do that you don't need to put that part in there. I don't know. I would have just put a little bump or a nub or something off that, foreign plastic piece there, and call it a day. So, when you put this in the magazine body, I'll show you. It's really weird because it sticks out right there. Yeah, so I don't know. I would think that I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand. So, I just don't know. Because it feels like you could just go ahead and break that right off. So it bears further study. I'll take a look at it. And see what else, what's going on with it. So, so what is my verdict without having shot these so far? Okay, so other than this little freaking whatever the fuck it is, sorry guys, it's late. I really like them. I think they're great. I think they're, they make sense. They're good. I almost believe that you probably pop that tab off, because the follower goes in those little those channels there. So that could be something you could do as well. So yeah, I have not having shot them. That's always going to be the big thing. But other than that nub, I mean, everything else about these feel great. They feel quality, you know, and what's going to really kill you is the price. So for a windowed magazine, polymer mag, with this kind of feature set, it's like $10. So Circle 10 AK, we'll go ahead and put a link to those guys, or a link to somewhere that has a link to them, because YouTube, they are selling them. Luke, the owner there, is awesome. Tell him I sent you from KCT. He has some crazy good stuff. And these they just came into America, and we got some here. And like I said, about $10. So not too bad. So guys, again, the jury is still out. That tab is killing me. I don't know. You know, it just worries me. Now, if the tab is not an issue and the things function and run, then 100% I would say buy them, stack them up. $10. I mean, you're basically paying GI mag prices, you know, for, you know, a window and a polymer mag. So they feel good. The material feels good. The windows feel good. They're grippy. They have good texture. They're nice and lightweight. If that freaking tab is not on there, or if it's something that we don't have to worry about, I would say that these are an awesome contender as long as they shoot. So they do have a nice lip there as well to stop them from going too far into a gun. So before you wrap up here, go ahead. There we go. So it's kind of weird. The lip here on the magazine doesn't line up with the mag well. But also I think like the Microtech magazines that they have for a while, those didn't line up either. So it's just they kind of made them, you know, do what they do. So they fit great in all my receivers except for the Great Lakes Firearms. They hang up in that a little bit, but that receiver's freaking bullshit anyways. So I'm not worried about it. Those things are milled out of spec. So, but guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Like, comment, subscribe, please share. Let's help grow this channel here, guys. The YouTube algorithm is crazy, so please. As a gun channel, we're trying to grow, you know. So if you feel like helping us out, we definitely appreciate it. It's one small click for mankind, one huge click for KCT. Guys, be excellent to each other. Stay safe. Stay accurate.